Nanashi!
What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile video. This time I'll be showing you my brand new light deck. Before we get started, I do need to ask a serious question. How many of you are familiar with Gradius? And I am referring to both the video game, being the side-scrolling shoot-em-up in outer space against the BES, as well as the archetype that it's literally based off of. Well, I've always been a huge fan of this archetype, even though they were severely under-supported. I mean, heck, their mortal enemy, the BES, got better support than they did. So I've had to beef this deck up significantly with a lot of almost completely unrelated text just to get it off the ground and playable, which was able to turn it into something of an OTK deck. But you'll see what I mean when we take a closer look. But before we take a closer look, purely because due to the COVID-19 thing, I'm not able to get all the cards that I need right now, but as soon as I can, I will. Now before we get started with the monster lineup, I should mention that I don't actually run Gradius itself in this deck. I only run some of its family members, and that's because, again, the archetype was so severely under-supported. First off, we have a playset of Falchion Beta. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, I can either send a light machine with 1200 or less attack from the deck to the grave, or special summon a light machine with 1200 or less attack from the graveyard. I also run a playset of Lord British Space Fighter. If this card destroys a monster in battle, then I can either attack once again, select and destroy a set card on the field, or special summon a multi-token, which is a level 4 light machine with 1200 attack. And a playset of Vic Viper T301. When an attack is declared between two monsters, I can special summon him from my hand or graveyard, hard once per turn, and while he's face up on the field, all other light machines gain 1200 attack points. Moving into the more awkward support, we have a playset each of Silver Gadget and Gold Gadget. When each of them are normal or special summoned, I can special summon a level 4 machine monster from my hand, even a copy of themselves. Also, if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, I can special summon a level 4 gadget monster from my deck, except for a copy of themselves. Also, you can only activate one of their 2 effects per turn. I also run a playset of Honest. During the damage step, if my light monster battles an opponent's monster, I can drop it from my hand to add that opponent's monster's attack to the light monster that's currently battling. And moving into the most awkward support for this deck, I run a playset each of Thunder King the Lightning Strike Kaiju and YuGiOh the Star Destroying Kaiju. Their entire purpose is just to remove problematic monsters off the board to make it easier for me to get some of my OTK combos, though there is a card or two that specifically interacts with these guys that really made me want to play these in the first place. Next we move into the spell cards. One Foolish Burial, sending a monster from the deck to the graveyard, which is pretty much entirely for Vic Viper. A playset of Inferno Reckless Summon. If I special summon a monster of 1500 or less attack, this card lets me special summon as many copies of that monster as possible from my hand, deck, or graveyard, and then my opponent gets to do the same with a monster they control. A playset of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. It's Dark Hole, but it also allows me to special summon 2 Kaiju monsters with different names from my deck to each side of the field. Those monsters have to be in attack mode, can't change their battle positions, and must attack each turn of able. And I try to give my opponent Thunder King while I give myself the Jizukiru. A playset of Leeching the Light. It allows me to select a face-up light monster my opponent controls, and all face-up attack position monsters I currently control gain attack points equal to that target. A playset of Limiter Removal. This card doubles the attack of all machines I currently control, but destroys all of them during the end phase of the turn. One Monster Reborn, and a pair of Twin Twisters. Now since there are no trap cards, let's just slide right into the side deck. I run a playset each of Dark Ruler No More, Herald of the Abyss, Solemn Johnson, Solemn Strike, and Solemn Warning. And finally, we move into the largely unnecessary extra deck. I run a playset of Bujinte Tsukuyomi, which can detach 1 material to draw my entire hand, minimum 1 to draw 2 new cards. I also run the Utopia Brigade. 1 Utopia, who can detach and negate an attack, 1 Utopia Prime, who can summon itself on top of a Utopia monster, and if I'm losing by minimum 3,000 life points, I can attach 3 materials and pay myself down to 10 points to destroy and banish all special summon monsters the opponent currently controls, dealing 300 damage to them for each. and one Utopia the Lightning, who can summon itself on top of a Utopia monster. If it battles, the opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step, and if it has a Utopia monster under its material, I can double detach to make his attack points 5,000 during that damage step. A playset of Starliege Paludynamo. I can double detach to target an opponent's monster, turn its attack to 0, and negate its effects. Also, if he happens to be destroyed, I get to draw a card. A playset of Hippo Shenanigan. Light monsters gain 500, dark monsters lose 400, and if he's destroyed, I can reclaim a light monster out of my graveyard. And finally, a playset of Platinum Gadget. Can't be used as link material during the turn he's summoned. During my main phase, I can special summon a level 4 or lower machine from my hand to a zone it points to, and if it's destroyed, I can special summon a gadget from my deck. And that is the deck. It's a fun deck, awkward to see work sometimes, and it's obviously a going second OTK deck, of which I'm not exactly a huge fan of. I think it's because it uses some of the oldest cards in existence and some of the most awkward text that I could possibly find that it is actually so fun. I mean, seriously, when's the last time anyone ever used Lord British Space Fighter? Or Falchion Beta, for that matter? Now that being said, I don't really think there's many ways that I can improve this deck, though if the Pot of Extravagance reprint ever does come out, I might go ahead and play that at 3 in this deck, provided I can afford it, of course. I thank you guys for watching the deck profile video. If you can think of any ways that I can improve this all-light OTK deck, feel free to let me know. In the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.